I thought I'd give you an update on the Charlise Mutton update if you're from around the world. The majority of Australians over here know because we get to see the news. Now, the understanding is that on the Wednesday night, the mother went off to hospital because she's pregnant. The boyfriend, fiance, was left there with Charlise. She was murdered Wednesday night. Reasons unknown yet. Somewhere a boat comes into the story. Now, the boat could have been up at Mount Wilson in the Blue Mountains, which is from the heart of Sydney City, would be 50 miles, 80 kilometres. No, 100 kilometres. Because where I am to Lithgow is exactly 100 kilometres. So if I take, I'm being technical, if I take my distance from here back to the city and the distance from Lithgow back to Mount Wilson's about the same, roughly, right? He's done the bad, horrible deed at Mount Wilson. He's then taken her body and a barrel from the property at Mount Wilson. He's driven down to Sydney. He's been recorded at Drummoyne. Now, Drummoyne, a lot of overseas people get this confused. The Hawkesbury River and the Colo River join up and go out through Wiseman's Ferry and go out underneath the Hawkesbury River Brooklyn Bridge north of Sydney, north of Whale Beach. It is not Sydney Harbour, right? It goes out through a headlands north of Sydney Harbour's headlands. He's then taken it down in a barrel with a blue tarp on the back of a utility, with a boat on the back with a tarp on it, and you can clearly see the barrel that she was actually in going across the street in Drummoyne down to the Drummoyne boat ramp on the Thursday afternoon, where he stayed for a period of time and he could not dump the barrel there. Now, why he brought the body down from the Blue Mountains, where there's no people up there, I have personally travelled the Belsliner Road, which is the main road that is the road that runs out to Mount Wilson. So you go up the Belsliner Road, you turn off onto the Mount Wilson Road and go out to Mount Wilson. If you go down to my YouTube channel, Mr. Hominoid, you will see I have filming of Mount Bell. Now, standing at Mount Bell video, to make sure you get the right one, you see 3 big power poles. In the background is Mount Wilson. There's no birds, there's no kangaroos, there's no water. And even if he wanted to, he could go where I parked and he could have disposed of poor little Charlise down there below the power lines and nobody would have ever found her. Because only the Electricity Commission people go there after bushfires or if there's a mechanical. And they're not going to look way down in the bush. And by this time, a decayed body wouldn't be visible because the undergrowth would have grown over it. But for some strange reason, he's put her in a barrel and he's drove her all the way back into Sydney. He's gone down through Drummoyne. That's Drummoyne. Drummoyne. Now that is on the Parramatta River, which is the waterway between the two Sydney headlands, past the Opera House, underneath the Harbour Bridge, heading west, going underneath the Gladesville Bridge, which turns into the Parramatta River, past the Gladesville Bridge, just before the Gladesville Bridge is Drummoyne. And then another part around the bend from Drummoyne in a cove is Five Dock boat ramp. Now this is surrounded by thousands, tens of thousands of people. And then he's still got the boat on the back at 5 o'clock in the Thursday afternoon. It's recorded driving down Victoria Road at Drummoyne on camera. And then he's recorded going west out on Richmond Road, which is west of Drummoyne and Five Dock, by about 30 kilometres, 30 mile, 20 mile, to a new petrol station in a new area called Marsden Park. He pulls up there in front of the camera quite clearly with a blue drum in the back of the ute, which is Charlise's body. Most likely by this time now he needs fuel, because he's driven from the Blue Mountains all the way down Sydney towing a boat, which is 100 kilometres. And then he's gone around all the traffic, and pulling a boat, you're going to use more fuel. So then he's gone out to Richmond Road. Now, why the hell he's come down Richmond Road from Drummoyne has got me beat, because I'm a former Sydney taxi driver. If you come from Five Dock or Drummoyne, he should have come down Victoria Road and come down Windsor Road to go to the Windsor boat ramp. But somehow he's on this other road parallel, and he's had to go through all Blacktown City, and he's probably cut down through Parramatta Road and the Airport Motorway, which is more risk of the drum might have fell out of the truck or something, because you can do 80, 110 k's an hour. This doesn't make sense. And there's more security cameras along the highway, along the motorway. And then he's turned around and he's come down to the Windsor boat ramp at 1 o'clock in the morning and realised that it's a big, broad, open boat ramp with no coverage. There's green lawns, no trees, and it's South Creek. Now, South Creek is a little tiny narrow opening at the boat ramp at Windsor. Now, the floodwaters were up about a metre. So now to explain South Creek, because I do water for a living, right? So I know what I'm talking about. And I'll say it again. There's 15,000 square kilometres of water catchment area behind the Warragamba Dam on Nepean River number 2. Sorry, 14,000. There's 14,000 square kilometres behind Nepean River number 1. Those two rivers then pass the two dams, then join together, and then come down to a place called Yarramundi, like the suburb of Melbourne, Yarra, Yarramundi, or Agnes Banks, Agnes Banks, who was another explorer under Governor Macquarie and Phillip, or surveyor. And that Nepean River then meets the Gross River. Now, it's also got flood water coming down it. So you got three rivers converging with flood water coming down now at the beginning of the Hawkesbury River. And that's coming down right next door to the Windsor boat ramp. But the South Creek comes in, which is where the concrete road goes into South Creek to protect the launching boats from the current of the Hawkesbury River, which at this point is tidal. Because the tidal area stops back at Yarramundi where the Gross and the Nepean meet to start the Hawkesbury. So then he's trying to put the boat in there, or the barrel, thinking he can do it, and then he's got spooked at 1 o'clock in the morning because of the big lights. And he probably thought, oh, there's cameras. Well, there would be cameras there because they would. It's Hawkesbury City Council is 1 kilometre up the road. And they've had a lot of hoon trouble, bad drivers, you know, smoking up tyres and all that sort of thing. It's got a ring road sort of on it. And they got there smoking them up, so they put cameras up. But the thing about South Creek, it also was under flood. Now, South Creek has a boundary of approximately 8,000 to 10,000 square kilometres. It's a little tiny opening, like that on a map. But it goes around and up, you got to get on a map and you have a look at South Creek and you zoom in on it, you see all the blue lines, and it goes up around the corner, goes around to the back of Mulgrave, McGrath's Hill, and then it heads east towards Riverstone, then it goes right up there to Schofields, then it comes back around to Marsden Park where he got fuel, and then it goes round up South Eve Creek, it comes around the back of St Mary's, and it comes right out through the back of St Mary's, underneath the railway, main Western Railway line, and it goes out there through Old Mount Druitt, and then it goes out in the floodplains out there around the back of, back out towards the back of Liverpool, and then it heads all the way right down to Campbelltown, and then it all goes right round, start heading west, and this little tiny creek then follows that right down to Campbelltown, then comes back around on the boundary of the roads that to the west of that, which is Nepean River number 2. And then it works its way back and comes around the edge of Northern Road, Londonderry, on the other side of Shane's Park near St Mary's, and then it wiggles out the back of Northern Road towards Wallachia, and then it cops all the water right down there out the back of Leppington, out the back of Camden. It goes right round, collects all the water out there. It's like a great big blown up balloon. It's like you've got this little tiny South Eve Creek. South Creek is only about 60 metres across, or 60 yards across, and it just goes out, it goes up, and then it goes in this huge, great big balloon catchment area. You know those huge, great big, I'll try and put it this way. You know those big party balloons about 4 metres big? And you've got a little tiny jet on the bottom of it, like where you pump the air in, and just picture a balloon 4 metres big or 4 yards big. That's its catchment area. And all that water squeezes out through the boat ramp, and when it can't cope with it, it goes over the top of the boat ramp, over the road there with the boat ramp is. And that's why when you look on the map, you see there's a big road bridge between Windsor and McGrath's Hill. But when they built the new Hawkesbury River Bridge at Windsor, on the northern side of Windsor, that bridge is on the southern side, southern eastern side. When they built the new Hawkesbury River Bridge, it was built lower than the Windsor to McGrath's Hill Bridge, which is absolutely bloody ridiculous. Because that's where the main current is. The main current. South Creek is just a big pond, fills up full of water with no current. But the Hawkesbury River has 14,000 and 10,000 square kilometres of the gross river. And it comes down through there. And that's why the Hawkesbury lowlands from Windsor to Wilberforce, to go down on my channel, you see there's a short video clip and it says Windsor to Wilberforce, right? The floodplain. It's had over 1,000 hits. It shows the height of the power poles, how deep it goes underwater. It goes under 60 feet of water. So this guy then tried to thought, oh no, then he got cold feet at the Windsor boat ramp. So then he's driven back out of Windsor, over the Windsor Bridge over the Hawkesbury, and then he's driven the 30 kilometres out through North Wilberforce and gone onto the Putty Road, which was built in 1940 by the state government for World War II in 1940 to beat the Japanese. And they blew the sides of mountains out. And you can get on Google Earth. Get on Google Earth. You'll see what I'm talking about. When you leave Windsor to go to Wilberforce, it's open flat country. They're the old-time settlers' roads, back from the first colonies. But they only went as far as they could go because once they hit the top end of the Putty Road, Stanix Park Road, they couldn't go any further except for downhill, and there was these great big rock faces in these great big ravine valleys. And they well, no, we can't drive a horse and cart down there, we'll never get out. So 1940, they dynamited all the way through the mountains, and there's two huge, great big ravines go down like that even now on the Putty Road. So he's driven down one, up over past East Currajong Road, top of the hill. He's gone around the bend. He's gone down the next great big ravine and come up past the Blacklands Ridge Road turn-off on the Putty Road. Then he's gone past the Lower Portland turn-off on the Putty Road. And then he's gone down the huge mountain descent down to the Colo River Bridge. And then he's turned off before the Colo River Bridge onto the Upper Colo Road exit. And when he hit the bottom of the exit onto the Upper Colo Road, he turned right and went about 20 metres and then turned left and went in underneath the Colo River Bridge. And then he tried to dispose of the body there. But then he realised, if you go down and look at my video, under the Colo River Bridge to Upper Colo, you'll see the great big concrete blocks that stopped him. So then he's had to get back into his car and turn around with a boat still on the back of the car, a red boat, drive out the gate and go down, turn left, and underneath the bridge, it changes name from Upper Colo Road to the Lower Colo Road. And then he's gone about 50 metres down there, and then he's found the old closed-off boat ramp, which still had three of the old-sized great big concrete blocks. He just avoided at the Colo River Bridge. And then as he tried to put it in the water, things have gone astray because it is also under flood water because the Colo River runs into the Hawkesbury And of course, if it's flooding this way, let's say with my finger, and the colo comes in this way, how can that water get out? It can't, because the Hawkesbury has got a big lot of water in it. So therefore then the floodwaters are coming down the colo, it's a metre higher. So then he's lost the drum. It's got away from him and it's floated downstream and it's ran up against the bank. And then he's panicked. And then he's got back in his car and somehow he's chucked a U-turn, because I know that road. I know that Lower Colo Road. The only way he could have turned around is if he went past that little old boat ramp road that's been closed now for about 20 years, and then backed the boat down it, and then turned hard right and gone back towards the Colo River Bridge. And then he's gone up underneath the Colo River Bridge, turned left, gone back up the entrance onto the Upper Colo Road on-ramp, back up onto the Putty Road, and drove all the way back up the mountain range. And then he's turned right onto the Blackson's Ridge Road, or if he missed that one, up to the East Currajong Road. And then that, which is section 1, which then both join up onto the Comleroy Road on the western side of the Putty. If you can follow me, you've got to get a map out to follow what it means, out to the west of it. And then the Comleroy Road then runs back down and joins onto the Bells Liner Road. And then the Bells Liner Road at Currajong, Kermond, and then he's turned left and gone into the petrol station again at Kermond, and he's been filmed at Kermond getting more fuel. So then he's turned around. This is still towing a boat. He's towing a boat up around mountain ranges. It's going to chew the hell out of his fuel. And then he's fueled up at Kermond without the drum in the back, and then he's drove all the way back up from Kermond. You come up to the satellites, go down a long hill, over a bridge, and then you can climb all the way uphill through Bellbird Hill at up to Currajong Heights, past the speed camera, and go up through Colo Heights, up over to what we call the point of no return. It's once you go over the top of that hill, the Sydney is then on the eastern side of the mountain range, and once you go over that hill, you're then looking to the west towards Lithgow. And then you follow that Bells Liner Road out through the towns of Bilpin, and then right up there to the Botanical Gardens, and then right out eventually back to the Mount Wilson turnoff. So in essence, he's done 350, maybe 400 kilometres towing a boat. But he's tried to dispose of the body at Drummoyne or Five Dock, and something's gone wrong in the afternoon on the Thursday. So the wee 1 o'clock in the morning sort of time period is down at the Colo River. So what was his intention? Was he going to launch the boat with a drum in the boat and go out to sea and try and dispose of it? Well, everybody knows a body floats after a period of time because it gasses up. Even though he shot her to death, the body's still going to have parts of the body is going to, I'm not being gross, but will gas up. Like when you see a bloated dead animal on the side of the road, a kangaroo or a deer or a sheep or a cow, they bloat up. Even if they're underwater, the body turns into gases. So it's going to float for a period of time. If you're really going to do a crime like that, you throw it out in the bush. Like when they get roadkill, that's up there in the Blue Mountains. That's why the truck crews, when they drive down the road and find a dead kangaroo, they just throw it over the edge of a mountain range. because then it goes way down away from the road. You don't smell it. And the local crows and animals get rid of it. But he tried to take it down the city. This is the insane part. And he is insane in my eyes. And he's tried to get rid of it. 5 Dock boat ramp, Des Moines boat ramp. He's lugged a body around the back of a ute. He's gone through 2 service stations with security cameras, clearly with a drum, from his parents' house at Mount Wilson. So let's just pray for poor little Charlise. And let's just also pray for the hell that this bastard never ever gets out of jail again. He's got to be insane. Anyway, from Mr. Hominoid, good night, thank you. But if you want to look it up, those places, Des Moines, Drumoyne, Drumoyne, boat ramp, 5 Dock, F like 5, F-I-V-E, Dock, D-O-C-K, Windsor, like the Queen of England, W-I-N-D-S-O-R, boat ramp, which is in the town of Windsor to the northeastern end. You just follow the river, you'll see it. You see South Creek. And then look how far big South Creek is. Follow the blue lines of South Creek. See how much water catchment area there is. You'd be astonished to see how much water. And that's why he couldn't launch the boat. Because it was flooding. Well, at least Charlise now is going to be buried. The mother's been cleared. The mother's still pregnant, unfortunately, with his other baby. I feel sorry for that other baby. When it gets born, it's going to find out its father murdered its, I'll say boy or girl's, older half-sister. What a sad case. I absolutely feel for the mother. I really feel for Mrs. Mutton and the grandmother. I really do. So God bless them. Hopefully they can try and salvage something out of the rest of their lives. And you'll never ever get over it, but try and find some sort of happiness. So from Mr. Hominoid with a big heart, I hope that finally clears it up. This guy is just mentally insane. Good night from Mr. Hominoid at gmail.com. Or leave me a comment. Tell me your opinion. I love you.